Let's talk about top four. I'll go first because I'm the only person to put Chelsea in my top four.
Yeah, it stinks.
I think you're all getting caught up in the narrative here.
Which one's
This
that?
is a very strong Chelsea squad. They're still ready to make more additions. They've signed Premier League proven Raheem Sterling, who guarantees double figures every single season. Havertz is getting very haven't finished. Mason Mount, you can always rely on as well. Koulibaly, is he good? Yes, he is good.
Yeah.
So I think we're getting a bit crazy about them. I think they've still got the squad to do well and to finish in the top four.
Can I ask you a question about Sterling? This is to both of you as well. It dominated our WhatsApp chat. I know Sterling's good. The numbers back that up. He's good. But is he good?
Is he good?
Why is he good?
I think he's top. I think he's going to cook under Tuchel as well.
Can you tell me why?
So why is he not in the top four? Why Chelsea not in the top four?
Because Sterling is one geezer, and that's the problem.
He is just one man.
He's one man, and he's not Superman. So
I agree.
I honestly, to your question, I think Sterling is absolutely outstanding. And the problem we've had is aesthetically, people don't like him. And as the games progressively become more stats orientated, it's also become more how good does someone look orientated. I just think the numbers speak for himself, and I think he'll be great at Chelsea. But I don't have Chelsea in my top four, and I have no interest in putting them near my top four.
So because we've got Man City, we've all got Liverpool in there. We'll say who's going to be champion in just a second. So I've gone Spurs, Chelsea, and then both of you have gone and then you've both gone Spurs, then Arsenal. Why do Arsenal finish in the top four and not Chelsea?
Well, I think, if speaking of narratives, I've got swept up in the Arsenal narrative. You know, Jesus, Zinchenko, Gary Neville, apparently in the mud now, according to all the Arsenal fans. I've been swept away with it. Even fantasy football teams sort of been dominated with this Arsenal narrative as well. Yeah. So I just think Man United with the rebuild year, it's what success for them, probably 5th, 6th. If they got Champions League, great. And yeah, the winter of discontent in Chelsea's continued, so I just think Arsenal can sneak.
You've put a great case forward for Arsenal. There's no point in me backing that, although I just believe in Arteta. I believe in that man. And I think momentum's a big thing, and their first 4 games are delightful. Palace, Leicester are all over the place, Bournemouth and Fulham. They win 3 of those 4, Arsenal fans are going to be
Imagine the pre-game speeches for the documentary.
Oh, yeah. I think they're in the edit stage now.
Yeah.
And
then Tottenham, I really believe in Conte. I believe in the signings they've made. He's actually built the team he wants. Yves Bissouma is going to be unbelievable for him. They need a box-to-box midfield. That's exactly what he is. Kane and Son, we know what they're all about. He's also now got backup goals as well in Richarlison. Spurs are going to be dangerous this year.
My gut keeps going, they'll Spurs it up. But on paper, you're right. They look so good, and that's why I put them 3rd instead of 4th with Chelsea. Let's get to the main event then. We've all gone for the same team. So, Nubaid, I'll come to you. Because you are a Liverpool fan. Why are you not going for Liverpool? We've all gone for Man City here as champions this year.
I can't lie, I wrote Liverpool down, scribbled them out, put City in. My only problem was when I was thinking about who would win the title, I could put a really good case forward for why City would win it, and I couldn't for Liverpool. I can believe enough because I'm a fan, but actually in terms of the transfer windows, City have had a better transfer window. Liverpool lost Mane. City have bought in Haaland. They've upgraded in a position where they actually really badly need an upgrade. Calvin Phillips has an upgrade on Fernandinho as well. Yes, they've lost Zinchenko and Jesus. They need to get a left-back. I do think that could play a part. The season they lost the title to Liverpool was when they didn't have a left-back. They had a lot of injuries. But all in all, I want to sit and cry, to be honest, because I want to say Liverpool win the title, but I'm just not completely convinced. It could happen on one technicality. Haaland gets injured for 8 weeks.
Wow. Wishing another man's injured.
That's
how low you've got.
No, not like that. Don't let them do that to you.
Will?
Yeah, exactly the same, really. Not too much to add. I just think Haaland, I'm personally not going to take him out, but if he stays fit, healthy, I think it's really scary for the rest of the league what he can have.
Yeah, I have to agree. Although the only one thing I wonder is when a team wins the championship, there is some sort of psychological sort of change, and I wonder if Liverpool still kind of have that fire. And there are changes in Man City's squad, so that could make it interesting. But I just think they're too strong. Will, the sweet sting of relegation.
Ooh,
I felt it. You felt it.
12 years ago now. It's been a long, long time.
Was it?
Yeah.
Quite a while ago. This year in the Premier League, who are your 3 to go down and taste that sting?
I have gone very, very boring. I've just gone for the 3 newly promoted sides. I think, speaking of Fulham and Bournemouth, they're just so reliant on Solanke and Mitrovic. Championship strikers, well, we know too well with Mitrovic coming to the Premier League, but Solanke as well. Like, Bournemouth very heavily possession-based, and it's not going to be that way in the Premier League. So I just think they're too reliant on the goals. And Nottingham Forest, I think they've got the best chance I think coming up with that back three, a bit more counter-attacking, they could do it. But I think it will be those three, sorry.
What do you need to stay up? Because Fulham did well last year. You know, the amount of
crazy,
points, the
isn't it?
goals
Yeah.
from Mitrovic.
Yeah.
I think it was over 100 goals.
I mean,
so what's necessary?
You're hooked to the Champions League. You're a QPR fan.
Championship as well.
Yeah, yeah.
It feels
QPR
like it
not in the
sometimes.
Champions League.
Feels
I'll
like it sometimes.
I think when you look at there is no correct model. Bournemouth with Scott Parker. Scott Parker was at Fulham when they got relegated, and he refused to change his identity of how they played, and that killed him. Mitrovic was outstanding in the Championship, but he's again outstanding in the Championship. Will he do it in the Premier League? Forest with 12 signings. My bottom three doesn't feature Forest. I've gone Brentford, Fulham and Bournemouth, which is nuts because Brentford did so well last year and I actually think they've had a really good window, but I'm obsessed over the idea that I think Brentford are eventually going back down.
Just going to stick with it until it comes
until
true.
it comes through. Then
Okay.
I can say, I told you the first time. And what's your bottom three?
Yeah, same as you. I've gone with, and the third spot is really, really difficult. I want to put Fulham forward. I think it's just going to have to be such a change in the way that they play. Bournemouth, I don't think are as bad as everyone's talking about. I think if they go a bit more direct, they still need a couple of bodies, but Kiefer Moore and Solanke up top, they could be a bit more direct, which could hurt teams. Fulham, I wonder about. I just don't think it will work, be too expansive. And then, went with Brentford just because I'm not totally sure about the goals. I know Ivan Toney's there, but is there the creativity for him? They brought in Damsgaard. He's got a bad injury record for me, and Brentford seem to think they can treat it, but if they don't, then I do think Eriksen played a big part last year, and I think it's going to be very close. Everton will be down there as well. I think Forest could be down there. There's a good few. Southampton, I think, will be down there as well, but Brentford, Fulham, Bournemouth for me. Sorry, Will.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.